Stop scrolling for just a second. Imagine if the last words you whisper before closing your eyes tonight could shock the universe itself and rewrite the script of your tomorrow. Sounds impossible, right? That's exactly what Emily thought, until the night she discovered a bedtime secret so powerful it shifted her entire reality. Stay with me, because in a few minutes, you'll hear the exact words she used, and you might find yourself planting seeds that could change your life too. Emily was 32, living in a small apartment that felt more like a cage than a home. Every night, she scrolled on her phone, drowning in the same endless cycle. Bills unpaid, regrets replaying like broken records, her heart heavy with mistakes she couldn't release. And every morning, she woke up exhausted, her subconscious mind still carrying the same mental trash she had tucked in the night before. But one night, something broke the pattern. While aimlessly scrolling at 2 a.m., Emily stumbled across a forgotten teaching. A whisper from Florence Scovel Shinn, "Your words before sleep are the seeds of tomorrow." That phrase struck her like lightning. Could it be true? Could the last few minutes before sleep hold the power to command her reality shift? This wasn't just another think positive quote. It felt like a secret she wasn't supposed to know. The kind of secret that makes you sit up in bed and wonder if the universe has been waiting for you to finally listen. Emily didn't know it yet, but that night, her subconscious, especially in that in-between state right before you fall asleep, was about to open, and what she planted there would shock her future. Emily lay in bed, her face lit only by the glow of her phone screen. Every scroll was a distraction, yet every distraction was a reminder that others seemed to be winning while she kept losing. Her best friend Marissa had just bought a new house, her coworker Daniel got promoted, and Emily? She was stuck, replaying the same broken loop. She closed her eyes, but her thoughts wouldn't let her rest. I'm tired, I'm broke, I'm not enough. Each phrase echoed like commands sent straight to her subconscious mind, planting weeds in the soil of tomorrow. She didn't know it yet, but this was the reality shift she was unintentionally scripting night after night. Her chest grew heavy, her body tense. This wasn't rest, it was rehearsal for failure. And yet beneath the noise, a quiet question stirred. What if the universe isn't ignoring me? What if I've just been sending it the wrong message? That thought lingered, pulling her back to the phrase she had read, "Your words before sleep are the seeds of tomorrow." Emily didn't believe in magic tricks, but desperation has a way of making you open. And for the first time in years, she considered planting something new in her mind before surrendering to sleep. As the clock glowed 2:17 a.m., she whispered into the silence, "I release this. Tomorrow, doors will open for me." Short, powerful, simple. And with that, she let go, not knowing that her words had just commanded the universe to start aligning in her favor. Emily wasn't just tired, she was bone-deep exhausted. By day, she worked long hours at a customer service job that barely paid the bills. By night, she tried to be everything her 8-year-old daughter Lily needed. Homework helper, bedtime storyteller, protector from a world that often felt too heavy. And when Lily finally drifted off to sleep, Emily collapsed on the couch, scrolling her phone, staring into the lives of people who seemed to have everything she didn't. Rent overdue, the car making strange noises, a notice from school about a field trip Lily wanted to join, but Emily didn't know how she'd scrape together the money. Her body wanted sleep, but her mind was wired with fear. Each night she whispered the same silent confessions, "I'm failing, I'm broke, I'll never catch up." These weren't just thoughts, they were seeds of despair, planting weeds in her subconscious mind. And that subconscious, it wasn't neutral. It was a faithful scribe, writing down every word she rehearsed in that in-between state right before she fell asleep. So every morning, Emily woke up not only with a tired body, but with a tired spirit. It was as if she was stuck inside a loop, mental trash piled higher while the hope of mental peace seemed further away. What haunted her most wasn't her own struggle. It was Lily. Watching her daughter sleep in the next room, Emily's chest tightened. She wanted more than survival. She wanted to give her little girl a life filled with blessings, joy, and the comfort she herself had never known. But how could she when she felt powerless even to change her own tomorrow? That's why the words she had read hours before wouldn't leave her. Your words before sleep are the seeds of tomorrow. Could it be that simple? Could this forgotten bedtime secret carry the power to shock the universe and shift her reality? She didn't know, but she knew she couldn't afford to keep planting weeds in the soil of her future, not when her daughter's life was tied to her own. Emily sat at the edge of her bed that night, the room quiet except for the low hum of the fridge in the kitchen. She felt the heaviness pressing down on her chest. The unpaid bills stacked on the counter, the email from her boss reminding her she was falling behind, the memory of Lily's disappointed face when she said they couldn't afford the field trip. All of it piled up in her head like garbage she had no place to throw away. Closing her eyes, she took a shaky breath and imagined a trash bin in her mind. One by one, she placed the pieces of her day inside. The stress, the shame, the comparison, the fear. She pictured dragging that bin to the curb and whispering almost too softly to hear, "I release this." It felt silly, like make-believe, but for the first time in years, her mind gave her a taste of what it meant to reset. She lay down, pulled the blanket to her chin, and let her lips form words she barely believed. "Tomorrow, doors will open for me. I am worthy. I am open. Blessings will find me." Short, powerful, simple. She repeated them with a trembling voice, as if testing whether the universe was really listening in that in-between state right before sleep. Then came the sound, a soft shuffle. Emily opened her eyes to see Lily standing in the doorway, rubbing her eyes, holding her stuffed bunny. "Mom," Lily whispered, "who are you talking to?" For a moment, Emily froze, caught between embarrassment and wonder. She smiled gently. "Just talking to tomorrow, sweetheart. Just planting seeds for a better day." Lily tilted her head, still half asleep, and smiled back. "Can I plant too?" Emily's heart tightened in her chest. She nodded, guiding her daughter back to bed. Together, in the dark, mother and daughter whispered into the silence. "Tomorrow, good things will happen. We are worthy. We are open." And as Emily closed her eyes, for the first time in years, she believed just a little that her words might shock the universe. But what Emily didn't know was this: the very next morning, something small but undeniable would happen, and it would force her to question if these whispered words were already reshaping her reality. If this moment touched you, hit the like button right now so this story can reach more people who need a reminder that their words still carry power.
The alarm buzzed at 6:30, and for once, Emily didn't groan. She blinked into the morning light and noticed something strange. Her body didn't feel like it had been carrying bricks all night. There was a softness in her chest, a quiet energy she couldn't explain. She stretched, rubbed her face, and thought, was it just a good night's sleep? Or was the universe already aligning with the words I whispered? Moving into the kitchen, Emily brewed her coffee and reached for her purse to grab Lily's lunch money. As she dug through the pockets, her fingers brushed against a folded bill. She froze. Pulling it out, she found a crisp $20 note she didn't remember putting there. It wasn't much, but in that moment it felt like more than money. It felt like a blessing, a seed sprouting in real life. She laughed under her breath, shaking her head. "Coincidence," she whispered, but her heart thumped with something else, a question she couldn't ignore. What if it's not? What if last night's words are already changing the script of my tomorrow? Just as she tucked the bill back in her purse, her phone buzzed. It was a message from Lily's teacher. "Emily, don't worry about the field trip fee. A sponsor has covered Lily's cost. She's all set to join." Emily's knees nearly buckled. Relief washed over her in waves. Tears filled her eyes as she clutched the phone. How could two unexpected blessings fall into her lap before 8 a.m.? For the first time in years, Emily didn't feel like life was pushing against her. She felt a quiet alignment, a whisper of divine guidance. But the question pulsed louder than her heartbeat. Was this just the start, or was the universe about to shock her with even more? That evening, after putting Lily to bed, Emily sat in the same spot as the night before. She closed her eyes, pictured her mental trash bin, and let the weight of the day slide off her shoulders. "I release this," she whispered. Then came the words she was starting to love, words that felt less like pretend and more like planting. "Tomorrow, doors will open for me. I am worthy. I am open. Blessings will find me." Lily peeked from under her blanket. "Mom, are you planting again?" she asked with a giggle. Emily smiled and tucked her in tighter. "Yes, baby, planting seeds for tomorrow." Sometimes Lily whispered the words with her, her tiny voice echoing in the dark. It wasn't just a ritual anymore. It was becoming a bond, a nightly ceremony of hope between mother and daughter. Days passed, and Emily noticed a quiet confidence growing inside her. She walked into work a little lighter, her shoulders not slumped with exhaustion. She even caught herself smiling while refilling her coffee, and that's when her coworker and friend, Sarah, raised an eyebrow. "Okay, spill it," Sarah teased. "What's different? You look lighter, like you've got a secret." Emily laughed nervously, unsure if she should share. "I don't know. Maybe I do," she admitted. "Just something small I've been doing at night." Sarah leaned closer, intrigued. "Well, whatever it is, keep doing it. You've got this glow, Em, and I swear, it's like the universe is finally on your side." The words hit Emily like confirmation, like alignment. She hadn't told Sarah a thing, yet here was her friend unknowingly affirming the very shift Emily had been whispering into existence. And in that moment, Emily couldn't help but wonder, if just a few nights of planting could do this, what would happen if she stayed faithful to it? By the end of the week, Emily's hope was flickering, but fragile. Yes, she'd found the $20. Yes, Lily's trip was covered. Yes, Sarah had noticed her glow, but reality still pressed in heavy. The rent was due in 2 days, and her paycheck wasn't enough. Sitting at her kitchen table, surrounded by unopened bills, the voice of doubt grew louder. "See, this isn't working. You're fooling yourself." That night, she crawled into bed without planting any words. She felt foolish for ever believing that whispering into the dark could shift her reality. "I don't have time for fairy tales," she muttered, rolling over, exhausted. The weight of defeat pressed into her chest, like chains pulling her back into the old loop of mental trash. But as she closed her eyes, a memory surfaced. Lily's tiny voice whispering, "Tomorrow good things will happen. We are worthy. We are open." Emily's eyes stung with tears. She couldn't let her daughter see her give up. Still, she whispered nothing. The next morning, rushing out the door, she found an envelope slipped under her mat. Frowning, she picked it up. Inside was a note from her landlord. Heart pounding, she braced for the worst. But instead it read, "I know you've been going through a rough time. Don't worry about this month's late fee. Just pay the rent when you can." Emily's froze, stunned. Her breath caught. She had expected punishment, but instead she found mercy. Her knees went weak as the words from her heart rose back to her mind. "Tomorrow, doors will open for me. I am worthy. I am open. Blessings will find me." She whispered into the quiet, "Okay, universe, I hear you." And in that moment, Emily knew she couldn't quit. Something bigger than her was aligning. Something powerful was just beginning to unfold. Monday morning arrived with the usual rush. Coffee spilling as Emily buckled Lily into the car, a traffic jam that nearly made them late, the same endless emails waiting at her desk. But beneath it all, something in her spirit felt different. The words she had begun planting each night weren't just whispers anymore. They were starting to take root. She walked into work with her shoulders straighter, her smile softer, and Sarah noticed instantly. "Girl, you're glowing again," Sarah teased, as they poured coffee in the break room. Emily chuckled, shaking her head. "Don't jinx it." But before she could reply further, her manager, Mr. Green, stepped into the room. "Emily, I need to see you in my office." Her stomach dropped. Usually those words meant trouble. She sat across from him, bracing herself. But instead of criticism, he leaned forward and said, "I've been noticing how you handle clients. You've got patience most people don't. We're opening a new role. Slightly better pay, more flexible hours. I think you'd be a great fit." Emily blinked, stunned. For a moment she couldn't breathe. This wasn't punishment. This was alignment. A door opening just like she had whispered. That evening, Emily told Lily the news as they sat on the couch. Lily's face lit up, her eyes wide. "See, Mom, I told you, planting works." She jumped up, running to grab her stuffed bunny, hugging it tight. "I planted for you, too. I said, tomorrow, my mommy will get good things." Emily's throat tightened, tears threatening to spill. Not only was her reality shifting, her daughter was learning to believe in blessings, too. For the first time in years, Emily felt something she had nearly lost: momentum. She thought back to the nights she almost gave up, when the trash felt too heavy to release. Now each word was beginning to shock the universe in ways she couldn't explain. But deep inside, she wondered if doors were already opening this quickly. What was the universe about to do next?
The following week, Emily walked into the office with a rare sense of hope. The promotion talk with Mr. Green still echoed in her ears, and Lily had started turning bedtime into a playful, planting ritual, whispering blessings like it was their secret game. For the first time in years, Emily felt she wasn't just surviving, she was stepping into something new. But life has a way of testing the seeds before they bloom. That Wednesday morning, Emily opened her mailbox and froze. A letter from the electric company. Her stomach twisted as she tore it open. Final notice. Payment due immediately, or her power would be shut off. Her hands trembled, the old familiar voice of panic screaming louder than her whispered affirmations. "See? It's hopeless. The universe isn't listening. You're still one mistake away from losing everything." That night, lying in bed, Emily almost gave in to the fear. She stared at the ceiling, tempted to skip the ritual, to sink back into the mental trash that had ruled her nights for years. But then she heard Lily's voice from the next room, soft and sleepy. "Tomorrow, good things will happen. We are worthy. We are open." Tears burned in Emily's eyes. If she quit now, what would she be teaching her daughter? She closed her eyes, exhaled, and whispered through her tears, "I release this. Tomorrow, doors will open. I am worthy. I am open. Blessings will find me." The next morning, her phone buzzed with a message from Sarah. "Check your account. I sent you something." Confused, Emily logged in, and there it was, an unexpected transfer. Sarah had paid her electric bill in full, leaving a note, "Don't argue. I believe in you. Pay me back when life makes room. For now, let this be a seed." Emily dropped the phone and sobbed into her hands. This wasn't coincidence. This was alignment. In that moment, the doubt shattered. Emily realized the bedtime secret wasn't just changing her tomorrow, it was multiplying power through the people around her. What she planted in faith was already sprouting in blessings, some invisible, some undeniable. And yet, one thought pulsed in her chest like a drumbeat. If this is only the beginning, what bigger doors are waiting to swing open next? 2 weeks later, Emily stood in Mr. Green's office again, her heart pounding. This time, she wasn't called in for a warning. "Emily," he said, sliding a paper across the desk, "we've officially approved you for the new position. Higher pay, fewer night shifts. I know you'll do great." Emily stared at the offer letter, her vision blurring with tears. It wasn't just a raise, it was breathing room. A door she never thought would open was now wide.
That night, sitting at the edge of her bed, Emily didn't whisper her words like a beggar pleading for scraps. She spoke them with authority, with power. I am worthy. I am open. Blessings will find me. Tomorrow will align in my favor. She no longer felt like she was tossing prayers into the void. She felt alignment, like her words carried command, planting seeds that were already sprouting beneath the surface. As she finished, Lily climbed into her lap with her stuffed bunny. "Mom, today I told my teacher, tomorrow good things will happen." She smiled and said I was right. Emily kissed her daughter's forehead, her chest swelling with gratitude. Lily wasn't just repeating words, she was living inside the shift her mother had started. The blessings were multiplying from one heart to another. Emily leaned back, her hands clasped together, her voice breaking in quiet reverence. "Thank you, God. I thought I was alone. I thought the universe forgot me. But you never did. You've been guiding me all along." In that moment, gratitude washed over her like warm light. The secret wasn't only about shocking the universe. It was about aligning with divine guidance that had always been waiting for her to let go. And as Emily turned out the light, pulling Lily close, her heart pulsed with a certainty she had never known. The future wasn't something to fear. It was something to command, something to plant, something to trust. She no longer went to bed with mental trash. She went to bed in peace, knowing her words, her faith, and her gratitude to God would keep reshaping her reality day after day. Emily's story is a reminder that nights are not meant to replaying regrets or carrying mental trash. They are sacred. They are the doorway to tomorrow. The words you plant in that in-between state right before you fall asleep are the seeds of your next reality. Emily went from exhaustion and fear to alignment and blessings, not because life suddenly got easy, but because she dared to speak a different script over her future. She discovered the secret wasn't about begging, it was about alignment, about releasing the weight of the day, commanding her tomorrow with faith, and trusting that God's divine guidance was already making a way. And each step of gratitude opened more doors, until even her daughter began carrying the light of that truth. Now, the question turns to you. What words will you plant tonight? Will you keep rehearsing pain, or will you command peace, blessing, and alignment? The universe listens. More importantly, God listens, and your tomorrow is waiting for your words. If Emily's journey spoke to your heart, hit the like button right now so this message reaches others who need it. Subscribe for more powerful motivational stories that remind you of your worth and your strength. And in the comments, type this affirmation: I am worthy, I am open, blessings will find me. Let's fill this space with seeds of power, so together we shock the universe and walk in the reality God has been preparing all along.